First, just a disclaimer, I'm not a medical professional. This is just my experiences on this subject, my knowledge that I've dealt with for years because I've dealt with it on both shoulders. Um, my particular rotator cuff issue had been impingement, and on my right is the first one it happened with, and it's back to 100%, no surgery, just through exercise and changes in my life. Um, my left happened secondly, and they wanted to do surgery, but I opted to do exercise instead for its specific exercises. Um, Mostly due to the fact that I know 4 people who have had rotator cuff surgery have this replaced because of impingement, and 3 of those 4 people say it was worse after the surgery. So I'm not telling you what to do or not to do. That's just been the information I've gotten, my experience with that. So with that in mind, um, first thing I want to go through are a few exercises. There are many, many, many different exercises you can do. The first thing I would say about the exercises, though, is do not go heavy. Always go light, lightweight, body weight, or bands when you're trying to recuperate an impinged shoulder. Do not go heavy. You're going to make it worse if you do. So, um, first one. Now you can do this with cable, or if you have a band, you can do this. Is just a rotation in. Keeping with this, you're going to keep your elbow next to your body. Keep it in tight to your body. Don't let your arm move around or anything. Lightweight. I have 0 weight on this right now, if that gives you any clue on that. So I just want to go directly to the front. Don't go past. Then you're closing it back up again, right? The problem is this has come forward. If it's an impingement, the problem is it's come forward. So you don't want to do that. So let it go out to the side and then just to the front, just like this. Keeping your elbow to your side. There, you can see a little different angle here. And I say lightweight. Try to do. I prefer just to do one high rep set when I'm doing these. You can do sets with it though too. You can do it more than once a day. If you go to rehab, they're going to tell you to do this like numerous times a day, right? So I just say play around with it. You might do that at first. And if it hurts too bad, even using a lightweight, just don't do it. Just don't do it. You might have something. I always, like I said, you want to go to a doctor, find out what your problem is for sure first. You don't want to make something worse. So, all right. So that was going in. Now you can go out. You're going to do the reverse. Same thing here. Don't let it come in front of your body too far. You just want it to your side. Your hand to be to your side. Same thing. You're going to go out in reverse, keeping the elbow into your body. Don't let it go out. Keep that stabilized there. Right? Same thing here. Now, you can do, like I said, just start out, try to do 10 reps, right? If you can do 10 reps, try to build that up, or do sets of 10, or try to build it up. I usually do like anywhere to like 20 to 50, somewhere there, just according to my time and the day and everything else. So I do them. I still do them about 4 or 5 times a week, and like I said, I have this one back just from the exercise that I do. I have this one back to 100%. This one is the last one. I have it around to like 95%. It's most of the way back. All right, so there's a couple. Like I said, you can use a band or you can use a cable. Don't do anything heavy, though. Keep it light. All right, another exercise is just doing a pull like this, right? Just doing a row with the cable. So with the cable and the ropes here, you don't have to use the ropes. There's other things you can use, but if you have access to ropes, you could use a couple of bands. You can use one band and just use the opposite sides, whatever. So all I'm going to do here, keep my back straight. Always keep your back straight, shoulders back. And I'm just pulling it in. Once again, I want to keep my elbows to my sides. In fact, I want to try to wrap them around to my back slightly, right? And again, you can go a little heavier on this, but don't worry about going super heavy, but you can go heavy on this. And you can build up. Once you start, your shoulder starts getting better, of course you can go heavier and heavier with this motion. There's some motions, like the first two, you don't ever want to go heavy. I would suggest never going heavy. So that's another one. And like I said, you just keep your back straight, shoulders back, keep your shoulders back, pull it in, and you're going to squeeze to your back, middle of your back, where you, like your scapula, which is something important to think about here. You want to do any exercises that are going to build the scapula area of your back, because that helps support and pull back your shoulders, okay? That's a very important thing just to keep in mind. So if you're doing back exercises, anything that will help that area will help your shoulder and keep them healthy. But anyway, keep your shoulders back, elbows in, and I let them go like circle back behind me a little bit if I can, and just squeeze that back there, right? Start off light and try to progress, of course, and get a little heavier so you can get some strength back there and build it up. Same thing with this. You can do like sets of 8, sets of 10, whatever. Try to progress off of that and build off of that, just like any program. Start off with, if you can do 3 sets of 10, that would be good starting off. Then go to 4, then go to 5. You're doing 5 sets of 10, and you're progressing your weight with that some. And as long as it's not hurting, then you're good. And do not let your shoulders go forward like this, all right? Because then you're just helping to create the same problem again. Keep your shoulders back when you're doing this. Don't go forward. All right, so there's 3 exercises. Now, another thing are laterals, and doing them in the front and to the side. You absolutely want to go light. These are just 5-pounders, okay? You can go lighter than this. At the beginning of the injuries, I had to use like a 2-pounder or something. It was half of this, so, because I couldn't even raise this arm hardly at all. So anyway, keep them light and keep your back straight, shoulders back still, and you're just doing your laterals to the side, okay? And focus, always, anytime you're doing any strength training exercise, always focus on the muscles that you're using, right? Always focus on those muscles. Same thing here. If I'm using the lightweight just to warm up, I usually use these to warm up with, and I do laterals with heavier weight, but I also do these exercises to warm up, get my rotator cuffs going. Same thing though, you could do one long set with a super lightweight. You could do sets of it, same thing, 8 or 10 rep sets, build it up. Don't worry about going heavy if you're working on trying to fix your rotator cuff though. But yeah, so you have side laterals. Now also front laterals, right? Same thing. Definitely make sure you have good posture here. If you let yourself slump forward, you're going to feel it more, right? So keep good posture and keep the shoulders back, and make sure you're engaging your muscles that you're using and focusing on those, right? And just super lightweight, okay? Because you want to try to build the muscle all around here but you also want to build your scapula. Those are the areas that you want to focus on to help fix it, okay? As far as strength training goes, there's more than just strength training to fixing them. But, so anyway, now I used to do this one, right? But then I've seen someone talk about that and it made a lot of sense to me. I stopped doing it because the going back motion, yeah, is good for it, but the coming forward, you're closing it off again. So that's not necessarily good for it. Now, you can do it without the weight as more of a stretching exercise this way, and trying to get it back into position, help it get back into position there, right? You can do it like this. That way you don't have this weight pulling down on it, and you'll feel it if you have weight going, when it's going down. So you can do it that way instead of using weights. And this one is debatable. I do use this one sometimes, keeping your arms horizontal here, elbows tucked in again, just like I said before, keeping the elbows tucked in, going out and coming in, right? Just like this. Now, some people say this doesn't help. I don't know, maybe that's their experience. My experience with it is, whenever I do this exercise, I can automatically feel a little relief myself. I believe it does help. It works the area, and as long as you're not going past that point, the side of your body here, then there's nothing that it's doing bad. So there's no bad side to it that I know of. Only good. So anyway, you can try that one, see what you think. Same thing as the rest, with the rep sets, trying to progress it, keep it light, always keep it light. Don't let your ego play games with you. Ego can just get you hurt, so don't let your ego get to you. Go light. Now, like I said, there's plenty of exercises you can do. Those are just some exercises. There are even some body weight exercises. Next thing I want to go over a little bit is stretches. Okay, you'd also definitely want to get some stretching in. One good, easy one is just putting your arm against something. My forearm is horizontal here, you can see, and then just stretch it. Just getting to a good stretch position and hold it there. Hold it there for 20 seconds, okay? Go for 20 seconds, just relaxing, let it stretch. Once again, you can actually do sets with this. You can do the other side, come over here, do the other side, 20 seconds, hold that, stretch it. You can go back. You can do the same thing. You can actually do sets with stretches, okay? Or you can just do one long stretch. You can hold it there longer than 20 seconds. That's definitely not going to hurt it. It actually will just help it a little more if you hold it longer than that, but definitely hold it for at least 20 seconds. So all you're doing here is just brace it against a wall or a door jamb, whatever, and turn enough so that you're getting the stretch, and just hold it there. Just hold it and relax as much as you can, okay? Opens it back up. All right, and another one is you're going to put your hand on you can use the wall, anything. And when I first learned this one, it was just putting the hand like in this position and stretching. It works. It does work, just doing this, right? This will work, just holding your hand like this. I prefer turning my hand in an upside down position like this and turning to stretch, right? I feel like it opens it up a little bit more in there, and I'm stretching more of the muscles that I feel that are affected. So same thing here, 20 seconds at least. Try to relax. Stretching, when the big thing with stretching is always just keep breathing and focus on relaxing, right? And don't overdo it. Once you start feeling the stretch, just stop there. Don't push it any further. don't make things worse. Okay. Um, Other stretching exercises you can do. If you have like a band or a belt or something, you can go behind your back, come up. Some people use things like a staff or a pole or whatever. I don't like doing that. I like something with a little movement to it, a little flexibility. Let me see. Use this. Well, this is a little short for me, but yeah, here, stretching back. You can hold it there. You can hold it in some different positions. Don't, if it's too much, don't do it. You know. Also, you can try something longer so that you're not stretching as much. Kind of judge that for yourself there. Just always be careful, relax, breathe. Don't overdo it. Don't make it worse. Right? As long as you're working on it continuously and trying to progress it, then that will do it. Don't push it further. And like I say, again, if it's too much, if anything you do is hurting it too bad, just don't. You definitely need to talk to a doctor. Make sure you're doing everything safe, right? Okay, so there's a few stretches. There's some more stretches you can do, uh, but something else to think about that's very important is, like, for instance, how did you get there? What caused the problem? You know, now a lot of people are having this issue because now we have our phones, have gaming. You know, when you're gaming, anything that you have your hands here and you're slumping, right? Because your shoulders are coming forward and you're slumping, causes problems with your shoulders, like impingements, causes problems with your neck and your upper back. So posture. Just get used to it, you know. Force yourself to make sure you're standing up straight, your shoulders are back. Um, Even if you have to go a little extreme for a while just to get yourself in the habit, but it does make a difference. If you're sitting, standing, you know, if you're doing something with your phone, right? I mean, because you're not going to stop using your phone. If you're doing something with your phone, just make sure you're still keeping decent posture. Don't slump over and make it worse like this, all right? Do not slump over. Keep back straight, shoulders back. You can still use your phone. You can still game. You can still be on the computer, whatever, right? A lot of people will want to blame it on benching, like doing benching movements. Benching movements, I don't believe cause the problem. They can make it worse if you have the problem, for sure. I had to stop benching for over a month, for sure. And then as I slowly went back, I had to go super light and build back up to get to where I could do a regular weight again. And even then, when you're doing, that's another thing to think about, is the exercises you do. You want to make sure that you're doing things in ways that always keeping your posture right, so you're not making it worse in that way. But also, speaking of benching, that's something to think about, is make sure no matter what type of bench you're doing, dumbbells, barbells, machine, whatever, that you still have your correct posture, still keeping your shoulders back. I see a lot of people when they're benching, they're trying to do this, you know, and trying to push more with the wrong muscles. If you're benching and trying to work your chest, you don't want to try using your shoulders, right? So keep your shoulders back out of it. Keep your shoulders out of it and use just your arms and focus on using your chest, right? Don't do this. Don't do that. You're just hurting yourself. Same thing with flies. Doing flies, that's a big one. If you're doing a fly, you can still do, that's something that scares a lot of people with rotator cuff issues, and for good reason. That can hurt it. It could possibly make it worse. I mean, if you're doing it wrong. Always lightweight again. There's no weight on this right now. I say you would definitely want to keep this. I see people again when they're doing flies, they're using their shoulder. They're not, and then they're wanting to work their chest. They're not getting as much chest in there, right? Keep your shoulder out of it. Keep your shoulders back, and do your flies here. You will feel much more of a contraction in your chest this way. So now you're working more chest and less of your shoulder. If you want to do shoulders, do shoulder exercises. So if you're working your chest, let it go out. Keep the shoulders back. Keep the shoulders back here. Keep them out of it. When you start doing this, you start causing problems, okay? So, that's just a few ideas to think about. Some people have problems when they sleep on that side. If it's the side they're having a problem with, just don't sleep on that side, you know. Anyway, yeah, keep these things in mind. There's a lot more you can think about, a lot more you can do, a lot of exercises and stuff. I would say, you know, talk to a doctor, figure out for sure what's wrong with your shoulders, find out what you can and can't do, figure out which exercises, you know, that you can do. Then, like I said, there's plenty more exercises. These are just a few, something to kind of get you going. Especially if you have an impingement, like I said, if it's an impingement, which is what I've had, what I have my own personal experience with, and these things have helped me tremendously. So, anyway, please like and subscribe, and check out everything below, and I will see you next time.